How's everybody doing? And want to know if you can hear me and see me all right? The video and audio working okay? Testing one, two, three. Say something. Let me know you're here. I'll just drink coffee while I'm waiting. Hi, Nigel, Graham, Hader, Michael. Good to see you guys. Happy Easter. Hi, Paul, Abdul, Aloysius. Brian, good morning. I thought you'd be out hunting for Easter eggs now. Sound and video fine. Thank you. Thank you, Brian. Oh, while we're sort of getting ready to come, I don't know how well you can see this. We had this is our, our package, our pouch for our new watch. And this is the one for our original one. I have a bunch of spare straps in here. That's why it looks that way. Anyway, so when you get your watch, this is the one you'll be seeing. And just thought about. Also, too, Lucrin, the company that we've been dealing with, and this was the one that Hader found for us originally. This is a great little company for making our stuff. It's a Swiss company, and they do great work. The other thing that's sort of neat about them is that even though they're based in Switzerland, as soon as they're finished with the pouches for us, they send them over to Agenor. So Agenor's got all of our pouches ahead of time, and we don't have to worry about it. The other thing is that they also have some kind of bank account here in the U.S. And so when I pay them, not only do I not have to turn dollars into Swiss francs, but also there's no VAT that we'd get back, or if there is, we get it back anyway. But that's just one of those little companies that we've dealt with from the get-go, and I hope we do it in the future some more. Hey, Caesar, Paul, how are you? John, good morning. Steve, hi, Steve. Caesar, sorry to ask, but is there any reason our weekly update is no longer on E3? Yeah, it is on E3. E3 is at the bottom of the list. E3 update is coming. Why, didn't you read the fine print, Caesar? It's all there. I mean, well, I'll tell you, I'll go into it a little more in a bit. Hi, Aaron. Good to see you. Okie doke, guys. Lot to talk about today, so we might as well get started. For the last several days, I've been going out of my mind, so nothing new there. Hi, V-Raj, trying to get everything squared away. So the Etude Light Rose was shipped to the Horological Society on Wednesday, March 26th. Okay, plenty of time to get there. Naturally, it was sent by FedEx, and naturally, FedEx has an exception on it, and it was on the ostrich strap. I had checked and I had talked with some people. Their sites has no problem with ostrich straps, but apparently they wanted to know where it was from and it was farm or whether it was all of these different questions on it, and we didn't know. So we had two shipped the same day. One came. We had one was for the Horological Society and one was for the gala. I was going to take mine to the gala, so we would have here we have this watch, and then here we have the one they're bidding for, and the bidding for is in that light rose, so that'll be great. Well, they both of them went into this impossible maze of FedEx. So, okay, so we got the FedEx clearance delay. I didn't know what the source of for the ostrich strap. I had no idea. So I had to guess, and I guessed it was from South Africa, and it was farm raised and everything else. I had checked to see where they came from, and that was where. And it turned out to be right, and they released it. In the meantime, Protexo, through the good work of Nicholas, I think it was Nicholas and Matu, they sent the specs. Well, like I said, when I look at the specs, they were exactly what I had said. South Africa origins, So I sent that to Nick, who's the CEO at Horological Society of New York, and we're working to get those. Now, mine got released on Friday, and I'm supposed to get it tomorrow. We'll see. But this is it's crazy. This is something we cannot afford to not show up for, basically. And so what I had done over the weekend, yesterday, and whatever, I think maybe I started on Friday. So I contacted Matthew, Nicholas, Sebastian, and who else? I forgot who else, but I think those are the three main guys. I may have contacted someone else. I said, look, guys, we got to have another pink dialed watch for the Horological Society of New York, because we can't have this big advertisement and everything else and have this thing go south on us. We look like idiots. And so Sebastian, bless his heart, he put one together for us. He got the next. I told him the next one in the row, number 2, happened to be a pink one. We had 4 to start off with, 2 0-0s, one for HSNY, one for Matteo and the GPHG. Mine was the first one. The second one was a pink one, because I needed it to go to the gala. All right, so yay. So anyway, right now, like I said, I had sent Nick of Horological Society of New York all of the things that I had used, plus the Protexo document that said the strap was legit. I'll tell you, it drives me crazy. I had suggested to Mike that, look, send them separately. Okay, send the watch and the buckle, and then send the whatchamacallit, the strap separately. If they hold the strap, I can use one of my old straps. I got extra straps. I could take that and they could use that until I got the other one back. But we shouldn't do that. And anyway, so in sending this next one, we have this backup that they're getting ready. There's some kind of special thing that Mike knows about. Mike knows shipping like nobody else. That he said it's guaranteed to get there on time. So, worst case scenario, the person getting the second one will have to wait. And best case scenario, between tomorrow, when uh, FedEx deigns to have something that you can go through that maze of theirs, but it's just typical. That happens every time with FedEx, and I just really tired of it. I don't know. Doesn't help to complain, so that's how come we took all of these steps to get something done. All right, so that's where we are on that. Uh, I don't mean this as a complaint. It's simply a reality. We did do something. We are doing something, and we'll find out pretty quickly. I'm hoping that maybe by tomorrow, uh, Nick at Horological Society of New York will be able to get the release on it. Fortunately, the straps are in Newark rather than Memphis, so they're right next door. So it shouldn't take them too long to FedEx to get it over to the Horological Society. But I'll keep you guys apprised on the Etude #2 site, what's going on there. Okay, let's see what we got here. Okay, hi Viraj. Okay, Hodinky has an article on HSNY Gala and on all auction items, including Lyrique. That's why we got to get it there. Looks like the cap leather decision for E1 was the correct one. No kidding. You know, it's let's never ever do this again. We'll just go with cowhide. That's what I like. They'll understand that. Just cowhide. Not veal, not calf. Calf, I feel bad about a calf. I just want cowhide. In fact, a mean cowhide. So we don't get that. Anyway, like I said, this has been a full court press, and we're going to keep it up until we get the watch to Horological Society of New York. But again, it turns into a soap opera thanks to the way things are working, man. Oh, this link wasn't on E3. I'm sorry, Caesar. I usually do. I had so little about it, I forgot about it. And everything has been focused on getting this thing ready. You're right, E2. I mean, you're right, Caesar. I'll post it. Oh, jeez. Okay. Do you have a picture of the pink watch we could share? Yeah, it's on. There should be one on the E2 site. I'll check if there's not. I'll put one up. You want a good one? Go to the Horological Society of New York, and they got a picture of the front and the back. Well, not yet, Caesar. Keep your bags packed and your passport ready. We never know. In fact, we may have to parachute you in. Caesar had offered to get a courier to take it over for us. And we still may need Caesar. That was a great offer. God, anyway, that's where we are on that. All right, any questions about that? Other than we just I found what the hardest part working with FedEx is, and I've done this I don't know countless times, is not to get mad. You can get mad later and say, "Look, guys, you shouldn't have put us through all of this." But to get what you need, you got to give them the documents they want and the information they want, and find them. That's the hard part. And then they got this thing with Fish and Game and all this other stuff that we have to deal with. And I talked to the people at Fish and Game. They said, yeah, it'll be ready between 1 and 45 days. I said, just shoot me. And that's when I started went into higher gear, and we finally did get it. So anyway, any other ideas besides parachuting Caesar into the gala at the last second? Hi, Bright Belly. Any reason we're using FedEx instead of DHL? It's because Mike has an account with FedEx. Bright Belly, I had asked that same question. Here's the thing with FedEx. FedEx is great getting the thing and taking it where you want it to go. It's the last mile that they drive everybody crazy. It's once they get it, if they start something. On one of the first ones that we had from Lyrique, they said, "Oh, they think it's dumping." Dumping. Yeah, they always come up with some new wrinkle, and I agree. Why don't we use DHL? Well, guess what? I had ordered something and was shipping by DHL, and DHL, they were in Leipzig, and there was a delay in Leipzig for some kind of customs. And what it was, Leipzig, Germany, what it was doing there, I don't know. So I think, we do everything we can. We cross all the T's and dot all the I's. I don't know. UPS, I just sent a watch back to Benny in, where was it Hong Kong? I think it was Hong Kong. And he suggested I use UPS, and so I did. I sent it back UPS. But if you look at the rankings for international shipping, DHL is first, UPS is second, and FedEx is dead last. And there's no reason it should be that way. It's just this last tangle that they have, and this god-awful maze of stuff that goes nowhere. I finally got the secret number. You got to have a special number to call just for watches. And I got that number and called them, and then they get it. And I ended up, I don't know, I talked to some gal in Kuala Lumpur when I called, but she helped. She said, okay, this is a person in Nashville, or not Nashville, but Memphis to call. The people I've dealt with at FedEx are very nice. But, and nice is good, but nice and efficient is even better. And I think that's what I'm looking for. So, Bright Belly, I'm with you, man. You get after a while, say, look, just make it easy for me. Hi, V-Raj. V-Raj, good question. Good point. V-Raj, you had asked that, you had put that question up on the Facebook page, and I did look at it and thought about it. And here's the problem. The one for I have to get that done today and have it tomorrow. What I wanted to do is to have it much more elaborate, things like, little things I think that really makes our watch special is the nature of the guilloche, that special little what's it called, the Agonaise gear with the star-crossed levers in the spokes. I mean, those are neat little things. Those are wonderful little things, and you have all of this stuff. So we have a real story to go with it. So it'll go out on Friday. Now, when I say Friday, it will be posted from where I am at midnight on Thursday. was officially, then it becomes Friday. So there'll be a couple days, and there'll be a lot more information about it. And in the meantime, I'll probably have an interim. Maybe I'll do an interim kind of midweek thing. Once I get my mitts on, at least as soon as we find out for sure they got it, and soon as soon as I get the one, I'm supposed to get it tomorrow. I stayed home all day for several days in a row, and the truck comes and goes. They won't let me pick it up, so I'm going to go down tomorrow and try to pick it up before they put it on the truck and get it. But yeah, Viraj, you absolutely right, and I have thought about that. But the more we have, if we've got sort of what we used to call vaporware, we don't want to have any vaporware. So I want to be sure that it's good and solid. I wish I could do it with a vest pocket, but I'll do it up big. We'll have bids. The thing about it is, so many people wanted that pink one. I think the total that we paid for was 10,400. Okay. So if you still want a pink one, you can have a shot at the video. I mean, at the auction, and there's no buyer's premium on it. And in fact, I think Philips is doing this as their gift to Horological Society of New York, is to have this auction for them and not charge anybody anything. Just which I think is a great thing. Now, the value of the items in the auction are not as high as ours, but what the heck? I don't know. Anyway, what you got? Always the last shipping station for FedEx. Yeah, the worst. DHL usually gets it fastest and without a hiccup, but they take some extra for administration costs if VAT is involved. That's okay. They can take it as far as I'm concerned. I just want to get the thing. Anyway, so God, tell you what. All right. Well, let's go on our merry way. I think I did report last time that we got a notice from Combla Mine that the dials are going to be late, and so we'll be getting it in the middle of April. That's sort of the sum total of it. Not yesterday. Well, what's today? Sunday, Friday, I think it was Friday, or maybe it was Thursday. I got an invoice from Agenor for 41,276 francs and 82, I don't know, are they cents, something like that, from Agenor. We paid it. It's the dollar Swiss franc is getting a little better. This time we paid $46,767.30. So that's been paid. Earlier this week, we received, I think it was around 8,000 for VAT return. So that we can pay against our current bills that we're going to have. Any questions about that? Oh, yeah. Let me add something to it. Some of the cases, this is why I like Sebastian at Made. Some of the cases we're getting from Boot Lannon and Catton aren't quite right. They ain't rat. Okay. Some little minor blemish, and Sebastian won't stand for it. He'll do one of two things. He'll either send it back to Boot Lannon and Catton and say, look, guys, we got to have it done right. For what we're paying for cases, I couldn't agree more. The other thing, if it's just little bitty thing, and he'll be able to polish it out or whatever, then he keeps it. But we're not. We should be getting really good stuff. Okay. Any questions about that? Are we still positive for most shipments in April? I'm sorry, Caesar. The reason I'm laughing isn't because that's not a good question. It's a great question. The reason I'm cracking up is that we get these things. They say, "Oh, we're going to be late a couple weeks." God knows what they're going to do in April. I mean, if everything comes through in April like they promised, uh, you know, then yes, okay. But I'm not being sarcastic or I'm not trying to be ironic. I'm just being insane is what when because that's what we got to deal with. You listen to this, Abdul. I'm afraid Abdul's going to run and hide in the Black Forest. Won't do the coordination because these are things that we've got to deal with. Uh, yeah, you're right about Sebastian. This guy, he is he is coming in this morning, Easter morning, to finish up our that special watch force to be sent or parachuted in by Caesar. So we'll have the pink one on time. We're referring to it, by the way, as light rose. So in case some people, I don't know, any pink haters. That I don't really care. Oh, you don't really care. No, listen, that's what I do, between when I'm not talking to you guys on Sunday, I'm I got I'm bugging everybody in that who's involved in our project now. That's where are you? It's hard. Yeah. Oh, that would be great. Caesar, honestly, show up in a light rose suit with a pink carnation and say, "Here you go." Oh, okay. All righty. That would be great. Ah, okay. All righty. Okay, anything before we go on to our next adventure we got on our list? We don't have we don't have problems to solve. We have adventures to experience. Aloysius, let me say something. You're absolutely right, Aloysius. Now, why is it that this? Here's why. Okay, I think anyway. From what I understand, that, and again, I could be wrong, but this is what I understand, and I'm not going to tell you who told me. All right, but it's somebody who knows. The problem with Combla Mine is that they when Kari Voutilainen had a project that he was doing that he needed to be done, everything else had to be dropped. And then they would be put it in. Okay. Now, Voutilainen also owns Voutilainen and Catton. I would imagine the same thing happened there. Something dropped something in. The other thing that somebody told me, and I hate to tell you guys this, and it's probably true, but it's something we have to deal with. And that is, we're not seen as very important. Okay. Now, here's why we're not seen as very important. 100 watches is not very much. Okay. Because Agenor is set up to deal with smaller amounts. I mean, they've been dealing with Van Cleef and Arpels for these wonderful watches with Fabergé, again with wonderful watches, and now they they suddenly the business went up a notch. Also, they've done stuff with Parmigiani and so on and so forth. Now these are like a bigger business that is not run on a volunteer basis. And so if you're going to sort of push anybody to the back, it's us. Okay. I'm not saying this is Aguilar, I'm saying it's everybody. And I'm not saying it as they're evil. I'm saying that they have a business to run. And as I was told by somebody who knows these things, he said, "You guys," I go, "What's taking them so long?" He said, "Because you're probably not that important." I mean, it was like, whoa, there was no diplomacy in that response whatsoever. But I think, on the other hand, I keep telling them, I say, "Look, one thing that we do, we pay our bills on time." And I said, and we're the nicest to deal with. And I got 100% agreement on that. So we're the nicest and pay our bills on time. Okay. All right. So that's us. Okay, no, Graham, did you see that Tudor have released Pink Dolls? I saw that. Yeah, I saw that. So it may be the new hip thing, and we just hit it at the right time. If we could only deliver on time, we'll be in great shape. Especially the price per case we are paying. Opium pays much less for the similar things. Yeah, I think the way that Opium wrote that, it was sort of interesting. I was looking at their latest things, and Opium said something to the effect that they got help or something like that. I think what they had used what looks to me to be an identical case as used in the Venge 8. And the difference is that our cases and movements have a really a nice perfect fit. Theirs, you have to have a thicker thing and with a smaller movement and stuff. But you're right, Abdul. That's something that I've been aware of, and that was how come I thought, well, this is great. Yeah, it's another story. I'm sorry, Brian. I guess I should have. I've neglected that. Brian, he knows people. uh, our case has more parts, though. Oh, good God. Yeah. Yeah. Let me say something about that, Hater. And this is also for Etude number 3 and 4. Our case, I think, is 5 main parts. And everything's got to fit together with our specialized movements. That was what threw us off on this one. We thought we were going to have the exact copy of what is it called? ADH 6801 AHD. Wow, I forgot the name of that. Our Aguilar movement. And the NICE made as a change. So the 6802 is different than the first one. Okay, just a little, but enough. AGH, that's right. 6801, 6802 is different. Now the real difference is going to be in the 6850 because that's going to be like a whole lot of difference. We're not going to have. I mean, the placement of the second hand is no longer the same. In fact, the only 2 hands that are the same on the 6850 are going to be the center seconds, the center hours and minutes. So, God knows what. So there's nothing that Matu can do even dealing with case makers. One of the things that Matu suggested was that we go with a 3-part one, which is fine with me. I mean, you can make a nice case with that. I've seen them. The one we have is wonderful. And I think the one coming out for AGH 6802 is going to be that way. Or the Etude number 2 is going to be that way. Oh, happy Easter, Owen. Yep, that's right, Owen, exactly right. A tiny but see, that cost us that was a 50 about a 46, 50,000 Swiss francs difference, just that little change. They said, "Well, because we had to redo everything." And, you can't blame them because they have to repay everybody, retool stuff, redo everything. Anyway, oh, by the way, too, those of you who are here, uh, from Europe, today is the day that they sprung forward. So you guys probably had to get up a little earlier if you're here. Because of that, I thank you. From now on, though, the U.S. and the rest of the world, I think, are pretty much on the same daylight time. Okay, three parts would be better in reducing also the complexity with polishing and finishing, reducing the case cost as well. That's what we're hoping. 1 hour less rain in Ireland, huh? It's not the Emerald Isle, it's the Wet Isle. Oh, man, it's been same here too. But I'll tell you, the range we're getting, I am so glad that it's warmed up just enough so it's not snow. So I got no complaint. They can rain all at once. We saw a big coyote in our backyard today. It was actually on the other side of the fence where the goats live and chickens. And so we have an alert system. We all call each other. Oh, hey, there's the coyotes out there, sort of chase them off so he didn't eat your chickens or the sheep or the goats. Uh, when the coyote is has a Chanel coat or something like that, then you know that it's a upscale one going after the cashmere goats. Let's reduce the parts and make it platinum. Bears woken up yet? No, at least as far as I know, they haven't. We'll know as soon as we see the trash cans all knocked over. Here the bears are back. They had sort of the beginning in the U.S. There are two things that come out of their caves about the same time: the bears out of hibernation and baseball starts. So when you see one, you can expect the other. Okay, if there's nothing else on E2, let's go on to E3. Etude number 3 tomorrow. Now remember, we were supposed to get the study in the first 2 weeks of February. And now it is April tomorrow. So that's when they're due. They're due tomorrow. And so we got this emergency going on. So I hope that doesn't affect, I don't think it should. It shouldn't affect getting our study done. But I hope we get our study done because then Matthew can really go to town on designing the dial and the case, both. So fingers crossed on that. By the way, too, on E2 number 3, we did decide, and I passed this on to Matthew, we are going with a 40 millimeter case, and that'll look different. I think that'll be nice to have. It's just a little difference, a half a millimeter on each side, so it's not like huge difference that we have. I have no idea. I think they put in some kind of smart God knows what in my TV, my monitor. If you see a balloon go up or a thumbs up or something, it does it, and then it starts moving around the camera, and I have no idea why. So if I hold still, maybe it'll hold still. Okay. Titanium. Okay, Kirk. Let's see. Twilight Zone. That's what it is. Facial recognition. Do I look like a balloon? I don't know. I look like a big thumb. That's probably what it is. Okie doke. Let's see. Yeah. Okay. Here's what we've got. We can begin the design on a mood board and a dial and case. By the way, Matu is going to be in New York, I think, New York City on May 1st. We're trying to set up to meet him, and anybody in that area who can get into it, would like to meet with Matthew. It'd be great. Matthew is going to be on about I don't know, I think it's 2 week, sort of a 2 week tour of his new product. He's got a new watch that he invented and do all of this stuff with it. And so he's promoting that. So I'm hoping that we can if we get our study by tomorrow, then Matthew will have time to get to a design for the dial and case before he takes off. Otherwise, that'll be another lost month for us. Yeah, I think you're right, Owen. I have no idea. Yeah. Caesar, do you have a Mac? I've had a Mac. I got my first Mac in 1983, picking it up up in Cappuccino a year before it came out. That was my big thrill. No, I'm not going to drive. I'm taking the train. When I go into New York City, I hop on the train, drive down to New Haven, get on Metro North, and go into the city come out at Grand Central. Grand Central is a great place to arrive at. Then you can either go out the front door on 42nd Street or the back door on 45th. Usually I go out the back on 45th and then go up to Madison or Fifth Avenue where all the watch stores are. Do you think it'd be possible for Agenor to do a short presentation to us on the study? Good question, Caesar. I had asked him if they could have some shots of their putting our movement together on the Lyrique 2. And they still have the AGH 6802. They're still building those, so I hope so. See, this is the thing, is that they are just like super busy, and that's sort of like, on the one hand, I'm very glad for them because they have that contract with right now for H. Moser, Parmigiani. There's that Parmigiani, Hermes, and maybe Fabergé. I don't know. And then us. So I think we're important to them because I tell them so all the time. So I hope they're listening. Can I stream the auction on L2? Boy, that's a good question, Michael. Michael, I think they may be doing it. I'm hoping that what's this stuff? What the balloons and the hearts? Boy, Michael, you got my computer excited when I heard about the auction. It's crazy. Okay, Michael, I think that Phillips auction may be doing that. I'm not sure. Horological Society of New York, I'm pretty sure would definitely. So there should be a live stream of that auction. But here's the thing: before the auction, in fact, before April 5th, if you go to the Horological Society of New York website and to the 2024 gala, you will see there's a link to for the bidding. I'll put that up on the sites for everybody too. But I think that's going to be the most important thing, to tell everybody, hey, look, guys, there's this. This is what I think V-Raj was encouraging me to do a little vest pocket on that. Maybe I'll do something, sort of a little one, just to get just about the auction. I'll do, that might be a good idea, and say something about getting this fabulous watch. So, but yeah, that would be great. I will take as many pictures as possible at the gala of something other than myself and my own watch, of everybody who's there. And it's that'll, and then I'll post that on, I guess that'll be on Monday's video. Moser owns 30% of Aganar. I don't know what percent it is, but I do know it's an interest. I like the way that Chanel talked about its interest in Roman Gautier. They said it's a friendly interest. So I don't know how friendly Moser's is, but I knew that they did it for a reason, because they want the Agengraph movement. And they want it because of the demand for the watches with that. I don't know if there's any other module that, other than the Agengraph movement, that Agenor is doing for them. For some reason, they don't advise me on all of their plans outside of, there's a 2-week delay on your study. Anywho, yeah, that's what. Beginning tomorrow, I will have to. Well, tomorrow is a holiday, by the way, in Switzerland, and I'll start my lobbying tomorrow anyway. Oh, good, V-Raj, thank you. Yeah, I wasn't sure, because they record everything, so if you miss it, you can see the recording of it. But that's why I'm so getting everything to them on time. Okay, so here's the thing to look out for. Absolutely soon as the study is gone, I will make that available to everybody. First myself, and that's if I'm not working to get FedEx to unhook up our watch. Okay, all right. That's looks like all I got. I've got a lot of work, but I wish I had more information for you. I mean, I say, well, this is this, and this is going to happen then. Are you speaking about the watch at the gala? Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I know, Caesar. Yeah, they got you again, Bill. That's a holiday, so it doesn't count. We can't. It's nuts. The filling up a cup of coffee with a half of it brandy really helps lighten the day. Anyway, anything else you guys have about anything related to either number 2 or number 3? Abdul, do you have anything to say about how things are going to number 4? I know that we've been getting requests left and right for that, and I've been sending people over there. They say, oh, they want to get a Etude number 3 in a worst way, and I tell them, here, go see this one, go see number 4, and I hope they do. It seems so. I would imagine you may have over 100 now, if I'm not mistaken. $85, okay. Yeah. Yeah, you can ask about that. You know, I don't know, there's an old thing that they used to have, say it to the hand. Except yeah, no, I tell you, the way we're gonna get it is just if I last year or not last year, I guess it's been year before last now, when we got Etude number 1, this was before we had a Swiss financial representative, and before we had a lot of stuff, and people did pick it up at a couple people, not too many, picked it up at Aganar. But now that we have this, we've got to record everything, and that's a good thing, I think, for we should know too. So anyway, that's that. By the way, too, let me add something. FedEx does a great job for the tax issue, getting all the taxes collected, different states here in the US, different VATs in Europe and around the world. So that's a good thing. I think DHL does too, so we'll see on that. A lot of ideas and discussion on the FB, yeah, but I think the main theme is enamel tile, jump hour, and maybe a retrograde. I'll tell you, I got to tell you something though. We tried to enter the 2023 GPHG, but we didn't. Our watch wasn't ready then. It's barely ready now. But it could be a good thing because last year they didn't have that category, the time only category, which our watch fits like a glove. So that's a good thing, I think. Maybe we'll get something out of it. If we just got to nominations, I mean, that would be great. Yeah. Um, what would I like to see on E4? I got to tell you, Cedar, that's going to be up to Abdul and the guys who are in it. One thing that I think that we're doing this time that we didn't exactly do in the past is that we have a very early sort of get together of people with coming out with ideas, and Abdul has been the guy who's going to take it. I am, like I said, this is number 4 is going to be all Abdul's. All right. I'm taking a break for number 4 because I think it's very important for Lyrique to have new people, in a coordination role over time, because then we have more of a structure than just than a gang or a group. We'll have something that leads on, and I think every year that we have some things like that. Paul and Hader and Abdul, and let me see who else. Forgot a bunch of guys anyway. Have really expressed an interest in getting the trademark for beyond Switzerland. Right now, Lyrique is a watch trademark for Switzerland only. And so what they want to do as we go forward is to get one for the EU and one for the UK, one for the US, and where else that we might be able to use that. And so that would be to extend that. Right now though, we're moving along at our own pace. I like Paul's idea. I think nomination is safe now that we know the Swiss price modeling. I hope so, Abdul. One thing we've got to do, this is one of the reasons in the write-up when I was working on that, on the press release, I was mentioning as many Swiss companies as possible, including our pouch maker, so that it's like, we're really embedded, and we are. We're really embedded in the Swiss watchmaking enterprise. So those kinds of things are important. Now that I became a member of the academy, I'm going to make as many friends as I can. You know who's really good at that is Matthew. Matthew knows everybody. Matthew is once described himself as a white wolf, somebody who everybody knows Matthew, and Matthew knows everybody. Let's see. Big balance wheel idea is awesome as well. Yeah, that's what I was thinking down the road beyond Etude number 4 is that somehow we get Daniela Dufour involved with Agenor. We'll have a shotgun wedding somehow, and get them together to make a watch with a nice big balance wheel, 2.5 hertz, and then have the sort of the finger bridges like they have on the Langenheim Georg, so you can really see it. So you get a watch and you have this gorgeous design on the movement side, and then on the dial side, something. Well, like we started with Etude number 1, we started with the Malin dial that Philippe Dufour had for Simplicity 37. And so we can come up with something really nice, really gorgeous, different than the other ones we have. They're all possibilities. This is what we can do is up to you guys. Isn't ET4 based on some movements as ET3, so they can do something besides GMT? Yeah, Michael, yeah, you're right. There are some parts, but it's not like we'll know more when we see the study, okay? Because if the base of the study shows that we're essentially using, which is actually the AGH 6911, which the 6801 was based on, then all of if we're using all of those parts, then it shouldn't be a problem. And I don't know how they're going to do it. It may be here you have the 6802 base, and then on top of that, they have the 6850 module. And so the whole thing becomes the AGH 6850. It's different from the 02 and the 01 and the 02 in that there's the position of the second wheel is not going to be the same, plus the fact that it's going to be a retrograde. So there's, really they're not the same. And so you simply take out the second wheel and you have the 6911. Yeah, I'm with you. And Nicholas and, you know who was on the jury? Isabelle, Chilier it was either last year or a couple years ago. So was, Jean-Marc Viderec. I think our thing to do is to be nice to everyone. This is how come, you don't wanna go out of your way to have some, to clip somebody basically. That's why you don't see me saying, "Oh god, I've had it with seeing that that Rolex must be paying somebody off in order to have Tudor win every year." I don't say things like that. Some scallywags might, but not me or any of us, I hope. Yeah. Okay, guys, listen, if there's nothing else, new today, have a great Easter. And Brian, if you're still here, you can go back to your Easter egg hunt. And uh, as soon as I get any more information, I'll post it. Take care.